So lying down on your mat, allowing your body to sink into the surface. Bringing your awareness to your breath. And with each inhale, focus on where your body is landing on the surface. And on each exhale, allow that to soften deeper into the mat. We're going to start with some cleansing breaths. So we're going to do 3 breaths where you inhale deeply from your belly, up through your collarbones, and then exhale through your mouth. So let's begin. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. So we're going to begin with joint release. Going to allow your head to just roll from side to side, noticing where your shoulders are. And as you roll, just see if you can lower your shoulders down further away from the back of your head and keep that nice connection with the mat. And in this last roll, just see if you can take your ear over a little bit closer to the mat on either side. Nothing too strenuous, just feeling that little tug from the shoulder to the jaw. And then go to the other side and do the same thing. And back to center. And then bringing the fingertips to the shoulder. We're just going to do some snow angel moves here. So you're going to take the elbows from the sideways all the way up, keeping the elbows on the mat, the shoulders on the mat. Feeling the shoulder blades keep scooped under, getting the maximum range of motion for your body today. Inhale up and exhale down. We'll do 3 more. And when you're in the up position with your elbows up towards the back of the mat, open up your lower arms and let them unfold so your arms are up at the top of the mat. Scoop your shoulder blades under, reach your hands overhead, clasp your wrists together, relax those elbows, and notice if the elbows are landing on the mat on one side or both sides or on either side. And just reach the arms up, 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 fingertips up towards the back of the mat. Stretch it out. And then relax the arms again and see if you can get your elbows to come down onto the mat. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach up. Straighten out those arms and relax them. And take a breath. You can leave your arms up here, or you can bring them down by your sides. We're going to take the feet wide with bent knees. We're going to do some windshield wiper movements. Just opening up the side body, opening up the outer hips. You can be as gentle or as vigorous as your body wants you to be right now. And then come back to center. And you're going to leave your left knee bent. You're going to take your right leg straight up to the ceiling. And we're going to flex and point the toes. Try to keep the toes spread when you do this to get into all the little bones in your feet, all the muscles. And then we're going to rotate that ankle 4 or 5 times in each direction. Keep the shoulders and the head relaxed. And then we're just going to shake out that right leg. Bend that right knee and bring the left leg straight up. Push out through the heel and flex and point, keeping the toes spread. Keep breathing, keep relaxing the rest of the body if you can. And then we're going to rotate that left ankle 4 or 5 times in each direction. Shake it out. Okay, so we're going to roll over onto the side and make your way up to seated. And we're going to just do a few little seated movements before we come up to standing. So come into a comfortable seated position and then do a few little cat-cow movements with your torso just to get that sweet spot so that you're sitting on those sit bones. We're going to take the left hand over to the right knee, the right arm behind you, and come into a gentle twist. Drop those shoulders down, squeeze the shoulder blades together towards the back. Take some deep breaths here. Just warming up, so nothing too strenuous. Slowly come back to center. Do a few more cat and cow movements with your belly. And then take the right hand to the left knee, bring the left hand behind you and twist, keeping that spine long and straight. Keep the hips relaxed. And come back to center. So let's lengthen out the legs. Shake them out a little bit. Come onto your sits bones. And we're going to take that right knee and bring it in. And we're going to cross it over the left knee. And then we're going to hold it like it's a log or a baby. We're going to do a rock the baby movement here. Just really opening up that right hip. And see if you can hug that knee in a little bit closer, keeping a straight spine. Just squeeze it in. Relax here once you've squeezed to the point where you're going to keep sitting up tall. Keep a little flex in that left foot. And then we're going to release that right leg, lengthen it out. Massage the thigh a little bit. Bend the left knee. Bring it into your chest, sit up tall, cross it over, place your right hand under the ankle and your left hand under the knee and do a little rock the baby on this side. And then hug that knee and sit up tall, squeeze it in nice and deeply. Sitting up tall. And release. Lengthen it out. Push back on those sits bones so your legs get longer. And since we've opened up the hips, we're going to come into a butterfly pose here. So you can bring your bottoms of your feet together, open up the knees. You can come into a diamond shape, or you can bring the feet in a little bit closer, whatever feels better for you. I'm going to grab onto the toes or the ankles, depending on where you can reach. And we're going to keep the spine long and straight. And then we're going to fold forward. Just fold forward. Listen to your body. Get a nice stretch in the low back. Keep the shoulders relaxed even as you sit up tall. Long line of energy from the spine. Smooth breaths. Relax the groins. Reach out with your upper body like we do in the sun salutations, a long line of energy from tailbone to crown. Relax those knees. Deep breaths, a couple more deep breaths. One more breath. And then walk your hands back in. Use your hands to bring those knees together. Place your feet on the mat. Bring your hands behind you and we'll do some windshield. And come back to center, and we're going to prepare for some table work. So have a blanket for your knees if they're sensitive. And come onto your all fours. So in your all fours here, make yourself like a card table here so the shoulder blades are squeezing together to have a flat back. The core is engaged. Your feet can be on your toe pads or you can be up on the bottoms of your feet. Straight, whatever works for you. Get a nice stretch here. I'm going to stretch out my toe necks a little bit. And release them. So let's do some more cat-cows here. So we're going to inhale in neutral. Exhale, round. Inhale, drop the belly and lift up. So make it like a really smooth motion. You can imagine a wave, curl, or you can imagine, for some reason, I'm imagining a rotary beater just rotating slowly. Bread hook, I don't know. Something where the motion is very smooth and consistent. Inhale when you're in cow, exhale when you're in cat. And let's come back to neutral. We're going to do some tiger moves here. So we're going to start with our right leg, firm foundation. We're going to bring that right knee into the right elbow and then shoot that right leg straight out behind you. Going to do that 4 more times very smoothly, trying to keep the hips level. Nice, smooth, easy breaths. Hold the last one. Lift up your chest and your head so you're getting a little bit of a compression in the right side there. Breaths. And release. Let's come up onto our hands and knees for a moment to shake out the wrists. I'm going to do that on the other side. So let's go down, back down. I'm going to take that left knee into the left arm, elbow, lift that left leg straight up behind you, and do that 4 more times. Now on the last one, we're going to hold that leg out, hold it up, lift up the chest. A little bit of preparation for like a cobra move. And release. Take the knees wide. Bring the toes together. Drop the hips back to the heels and come down into a child pose. Nice deep breaths here. Let it go. Reach your arms out in front of you if you can. Reach those fingertips out, making the arms long. Feel the fingertips going forward. Feel your tailbone and your toes going backwards. Nice long full body stretch for the back. Two more breaths. Slowly come back up to the table. Bring your hands a little bit closer. Bring your knees together. We're going to come into a down dog here. So you're going to curl your toes under. Going to lift up, push back with the heels. It's your own downward dog. You can make whatever shape you want. Walk out those heels. You're going to lift and lower the heels. Take the shoulders away from the ears. See if you can push that, your glutes and your quads up a little bit higher. Some hamstring stretching. And then some cat-cows in down dog is always nice. Woo. And then walk those feet in, walk those hands in. Slowly make your way up to standing. Grab a little water if you have it. I'm going to adjust my screen. All right. So we are coming into a mountain pose here. We've warmed up, so we feel all the different parts of the body, feeling the prana flowing through. Nice full breaths. On your inhales, lengthen the spine. On the exhales, soften and drop the shoulders down the back. Feel the fingertips reaching down, pulling in energy from the earth. Feel the crown of the head reaching skyward. Feel your feet making a firm connection. Center of the heels. Full toe pad. Let's just alternately bend our knees, getting a little bit of a micro bend in the knees. And then we're going to do some side stretching here. So I want you to drop your ear over to one shoulder. Take that arm on that side and just relax it down. Little banana asana standing. If you're on a wall, I'm on a wall here. I'm going to pretend I'm on the mat in my banana asana. Just going to drop my body over to the side. Bring my head over to the side. Shut your hips out a little bit. And take the other arm and lift it up. Full side body stretch. See if you can get that elbow back by the ear. Relax the other arm down. Slowly come back up. Come back into your mountain and just notice how that energy is on the side that was lengthened. So we'll do that on the other side. We're going to drop the other ear to the other shoulder. Relax that arm. Shut that hip out. And then take the arm on the side that's being stretched up and overhead. Try to keep your body in a long straight line. It's easier on the wall, but even if you're closer in, you can work to just keep that body straight. And come back up. Come back into your mountain pose and notice the sensation of strength now in the side body. Then come up on the toes and down. Keeping that micro bend in the knees, it's a little easier. Side to side. Let's come up on one foot, press into those toe necks. And then let's turn the foot over and press into the tops of the toes. Stretch out the front of the foot. And release. Just notice how that foot feels more engaged. Again, on the other side, we're going to come up onto the toe necks. Push, push, push. And then onto the top of the toes. This is a good thing to do if you're sitting in a chair watching TV at home, so you can have your shoes on. Ooh. And press down, back into mountain. So we're going to come into a chair pose here. So we're going to bend those knees. Imagine you're sitting back into your chair. Lengthen out the torso, lift the arms up. Press into the feet. If you lift up your toes, you get a good engagement on the toe pads here. So reach up, get a long line of energy. I'm going to hold for 5 breaths. Two more. Slowly come up and come back into your mountain pose. So we're going to start with our sun salutations now. We're going to do 4 rounds. We're going to do the first round of right and left quite slowly. I can't ever get this right. Do the second set a little bit more rapidly. So I am going to use blocks here. I'm still having a little trouble with my rib, but I'm almost better. But I'm going to use blocks here. So when I come into my downward poses, I can bring my hands right onto the blocks, or you can have a chair and you can just come down as far as the chair goes. All right. So we're going to start in mountain. Heel the arms up. Take the arms wide to the side. Come into a half forward fold. Bring your hands onto your knees and lengthen out the spine. Micro bend in the knees. Sweep the arms up and overhead. And come down into prayer. We're going to inhale the arms up and overhead. Take the arms wide to the side, come halfway down, and then come all the way down into a forward fold. I'm going to take the right leg back into a lunge. Bring the left leg back to join it. We're going to drop down on the mat and come into a cobra pose. Feel that nice compression. Open up the shoulders. Then we're going to bring the feet back, well, the feet are down. We're going to come into a downward dog. We're going to take the right leg forward, the left leg forward, sweep the arms up and overhead, and come down into a prayer pose. Let's do that on the left side slowly. Inhale the arms up, take them wide to the side. Bring your hands down onto your knees, lengthen out your spine, flat back. Sweep the arms up, come down into a prayer. Take the arms up, take them wide, come down halfway, and then all the way down into a forward fold. I'm going to take the left leg back into a lunge, the right leg back into your plank, and then up into your cobra. Come back up into your downward facing dog. You're going to take your left leg forward, your right leg forward. Take the arms wide and up and overhead, and down into a prayer. Good job. I wish I did do 12 every morning. I'd probably feel so much better. I only do like 3. Okay, here we go. Inhale up. Take the arms wide, half forward fold. Take the arms wide, up and overhead, down into prayer. Bring them up. Take them wide, come all the way down into your forward fold. Take your right leg back. Take your left leg back. You're in plank. Drop down, come into your cobra. Come back up into your downward facing dog. Sweep your right leg forward, your left leg forward. Sweep the arms up and overhead and down into prayer. Last side. Inhale up. Take the arms wide, half forward fold, hands onto knees, broaden the back. Bring the arms up, down into prayer. Bring the arms up, take them wide, come all the way down into your forward fold. This time you're going to take your left leg back, your right leg back, plank, cobra, downward dog. You're going to take that left leg forward, that right leg forward. Sweep the arms wide, up and overhead and down into prayer. Bring your arms down by your sides and into mountain pose, and you can really feel that energy everywhere. I mean, I can, I hope you can. You can just feel how you've activated every system, every joint. Take some breaths here. And we're going to take the feet wide here. We're just going to do a little bit of willow tree. Gentle movements just to go from that very structured sun salutation to something a little bit more free. Some of us like to be structured, some of us like to be free, but whichever we choose, it's good to do the opposite every now and then just to change it up. All right. So grab some water if you have some. I'm going to go sideways here because I just can't seem to get the right angle on this standing poses. Mat down here. So we're going to come into a wide-legged stance. And again, I have my blocks here for my arms. They're not long enough. So come as wide-legged as is comfortable for you. We've opened up the inner thigh, so this should be fairly comfortable pose. So the legs are wide, isometrically coming together. The outside edges of the feet are making a super connection with the mat. And we're going to lengthen the torso and come into our half forward fold here, wide-legged. So you might want to have a little bit of a bend in your knees here. I'm going to come half forward, half forward, half forward, reaching out, and then bring your hands down onto the mat. Take some breaths here. Press into the heels and the toe pads. Relax those shoulders, make some yes and no movements with your head. Don't get dizzy. And then we're going to slowly, slowly, slowly come up. And we're going to turn those toes out, come down into a mini squat, open up the torso, and come into a goddess victory squat. So we're going to inhale the arms up, straighten the legs, and then we're going to exhale down. We're going to do that 4 more times. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Last one, reach it up, exhale it down. Bring the hands down onto the hips. And we're going to turn, well, it's going to be my right toe is going to turn up towards the top of the mat. And my left foot, I'm going to push out my heel. I'm going to come into a warrior 2 stance. So my hips ideally are staying open too, in line with the long edge of the mat. But just do a little bit of this stuff just to see how flexible your hips are. So this knee wants to come in every time you turn back. So try to keep the front knee as open as possible and the back leg straight and strong. Then bring your arms up and look out over your front hand. Press into that back heel and foot and just pulse a little bit into your warrior 2. All right, let's go into a triangle pose from here. So you're going to straighten out that front leg. Drop your front hand onto the front leg. Bring the back hand up. Start to twist over. So you make a beautiful triangle here. I'm going to leave my hand up by my thigh, but you can bring your hand down if you want to get more side body stretch. Keep the hip open. Don't let this hip come forward. It's a good one to do on the wall. Bend into that front knee. Come back up into your warrior 2. We're going to do one more movement in from the warrior 2. We're going to take the forearm down onto that front thigh. We're going to slide that back arm forward and reach it up into a side angle pose. And slowly come up, back into the warrior 2. Drop your hands down onto your hips, turn that foot so you're back into the wide-legged stance. Take a few breaths here. That was a lot of work on that quad and knee there. We're going to go do a half forward fold again. We'll do the other side. Half forward fold. Toes are pointing straight into the long edge of the mat. And then come all the way down into your forward fold. Onto a chair, onto blocks, or onto the mat. Bend and straighten the knees a few times. And then slowly roll up. Don't come up too fast. And we're going to do the other side. So we're going to turn the other foot so it's facing the short end of the mat. Keep the hips open. You can play a little bit here just to see the flexibility. Back leg, the heel is back. I'm going to bring the arms up and open out over the front foot arm. Tailbone is tucked. Strong warrior two. Take some breaths. Pulse a little bit. Come back up, straighten that leg. Bring your hand down. Keep the hips open. We're going to lift that other arm up and come into our triangle on this side. Notice how one side may seem a little bit less or more challenging than the other. One more breath. Slowly come up, back into warrior two. And we'll do side angle pose. So bend that elbow, place it down on thigh. Sweep that back arm forward and up. Open up the body, side angle. Similar but different from the triangle. One more breath. Come back up into your warrior two. Bring your hands down onto your hips. Bring the foot forward, walk your feet in. Come back into your mountain pose. Different sensation than after the sun salutations. But again, lots of energy flowing through. So we're going to do a little bit more of the willow tree. Again, we did a very structured, now a very unstructured, more cheap type of movement. I love these unstructured. I'm an unstructured person. Structure is hard for me, but it feels really good when I do structured things. I feel there's something about a sense of accomplishment when you do something that has steps and structure. Got to do both. All right, here's a pose that combines both of these, and it's called Garudasana. It's our last standing pose. So in Garudasana, it's eagle pose. So let's practice first with the eagle arms. So eagle arms, we're going to take our arms wide. And then I'm going to cross my right arm underneath my left arm and cross them at the elbows. Bring the forearms up, and I'm going to grab my palms. It's up to you. You can just leave your arms wide like this. It's fine. So then we're going to be nice and tall. See if you can lift those arms, those elbows up, so that you get a real stretch across the shoulder blades. And then we'll release that side, shake it out. And we're going to do the other side. So take the arms wide. I'm going to cross the other arm underneath. Cross the forearms. And again, you'll notice the side might feel very different. And we're going to lift those elbows up. Feel that stretch. Don't let your shoulders hunch up. So you can drop the shoulders down and lift up the elbows. And release, shake it out. I have a little water here. So what's the leg part here? So you may remember, you can do this just by crossing your leg over like this, or you could do what I like to do now that I've reached my maturity. I'm going to cross my leg over and place it on the block. So practice that. Sometimes that's a hard balance thing too. So you want to make, if you have a block, you want to put that foot over on the block. So I'm putting my right foot over to the left where the block is. I'm going to bend my left knee slightly. So this is the leg movement of Garudasana. Let's try the other leg just to, so we do the whole pose. You're ready. So this time you're gonna have the block on the right. I'm gonna cross my left foot over and put it on the block. And bend that right knee. All right, so come back. So leave the block right there on the right. And we're going to cross that left leg over, micro bend the right knee, bring the arms up, and take the left arm underneath and the right arm on top, and bring your palms and forearms together and bend into Garudasana. Lift up those elbows. This kind of reminds me of Cobra Kai. Wax on, wax off. Now you can try lifting that foot up off the block and see if you can do the balance part of it. And release. Release the arms. Last one, bring the block over to the left. Cross the right foot over, bend the knees. This time you're going to bring the other arm under, right arm under, and come up. And if you can take your leg off the block and see if you can support yourself. And release. Come back into mountain. Take some breaths, feel the prana. And we're going to very slowly make our way back down onto our mats on our back.
Oh, thank you, God.
Who said thank you, God? I say it to myself. Oh, no, that's funny. All right. So take a moment when you lie down on your mat to just feel everything. Just feel the body. Energized and relaxed at the same time. Bend your knees and just feel the spine, feel the back of the pelvis. The shoulders, the back of the head. I like this because the back of my head feels very heavy now, and that means my shoulders are relaxed, which is good. So we're going to keep those knees bent, and we're going to do something we did at the beginning of the practice, and now we're doing it on our back. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. And instead of using our arms, we're going to draw that left knee into the chest and grab hold of the back of the thigh or the shins with your right hand through the hole and your left hand on the outside of the left leg in this figure four pose, which is so good for your certain muscles and big tendons. Just, you know, this is a great release for them. Relax that glute. Relax the shoulders. If you need to use a strap for this pose to get some deep stretching, you're welcome to use a strap here over your shins. 3 more breaths. Drop your left foot down onto the mat, release the right leg. And before we do the other side, just lengthen out both legs for a few breaths, just to feel if there's any difference in the sensation. So then we'll bring the knees in again, bring the feet in, cross the left ankle over the right knee, and use your right knee to draw that left leg in a little closer into figure 4 on the other side. Putting your left hand through that keyhole between the legs. Soften everything once you're here. Relax the shoulders. Feel the outer glutes, getting a good stretch in the piriformis. Three more breaths. Slowly drop the right foot down, release the left foot, lengthen out the legs. And then preparing for bridge pose, we're going to drop those shoulder blades far, far away from the back of your neck. Bend your knees, bringing your heels in as close as possible to your buttocks. Keep the knees straight ahead. Press into your feet, bring your arms down by your side. You can grab onto the outside edge of your mat if you're on one, or just press your palms down into the mat. Curl the tailbone under. Lift up into bridge. Press into those feet. Feel those hip flexors stretching. You're going to take 5 breaths here. Very slowly drop down, chest, waist, hips. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side, and we're going to come right into a twist. So you could bring your arms out to the side. I'm going to drop those knees down onto the right. So do as I say, not as I do. I'm still not allowed to twist. So I'm going to come into a very simple twist to the right side. Slowly bring your knees back to center. Give them a good squeeze. And when you're ready, you can take your knees over to the left. Find your way back to center now. Give your knees a little squeeze in and then bring your feet straight up into the air for legs up the wall pose. And then you can lower your legs down and make your way down onto your mat for the final pose, Shavasana. So make yourself comfortable. The blanket over yourself if you want, pillow under your head, and begin to soften your body down onto the mat. Take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. Soften all the muscles on your scalp. Relax your forehead. Let your eyes rest softly in their sockets. Release your cheeks. Slightly part your lips and relax your jaw. Whole face relaxed. Soften your neck and your shoulders. And let your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your hands and fingers be very heavy. Soften your heart, your lungs, and your rib cage. Release your belly, your hips, your thighs. Soften your knees, your calves and shins. Relax your ankles, the tops and soles of your feet, and your toes. And let yourself float. Start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Gently nod your head from side to side. And then take a nice long stretch. Make your way over onto your side and just stay here. I'm going to read you a wonderful quote from Rumi. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So when you're ready, you can make your way up seated and bring your hands to your heart space.